Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Delusional's Arcade. So in this episode, we're going to do part 3. This is a Shmup Bartop that I've always wanted to build. The ultimate one. It's going to be Esprit themed. Well, it's one of my favorite games. It's by Cave. It's going to have the whole theme on the side, but of course it's going to play tons of shmups. It's going to be 2 players. So we're going to go ahead and apply the side art. It's beautiful side art. You'll see it here. We'll put some team molding on it as well and kind of just try to, get this going with the artwork and stuff. So I guess without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, so we have the artwork down here. Now, the only things that really fit, I'm going to take off the control panel to show you what I'm talking about. But basically, let me go over here and move. You're going to see that these fit perfectly. This is what we're going to put on today, this side and this side. But this here, the control panel, for whatever reason, I guess the guy got it wrong with the artwork. So if you look at the control panel, see, like I said in the last video, it's too small. So I have to actually resize. I think what I'm going to do, I should be able to just kind of remove this edge here, one of these tiles, and then that, and I'll kind of smush it a little more together. We have plenty of room to do that, so that's not going to be an issue. The arrows and everything are going to be the same. I have the PDF for this because I had a guy, Ben, actually design everything, and I was there and he gave me all the files and everything. And then this over here, it's still a little short. It's actually the same length as this. This is a kick panel. The idea was to have the player 1 and 2 line up over here, their start and credit button with the caution kind of graphics there. And also it has an American translation. Normally it's Japanese for the game because it's a Japanese game, but somebody translated it to US, to English. So I definitely wanted that on there. And then you have the logo. So I may have to just reduce this a little bit, maybe crop off the sides, push in these banners a little more, figure out maybe I have a little bit of space in between to work with. And then I'll just have to reprint both the control panel and the kick plate. And then of course the marquee, that was incorrect as well. I don't have that to show you guys, but I do have it around somewhere. And that again was the same length. It was really long, so it totally did not fit the cabinet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those 3 things reprinted. But in the meantime, while we're waiting, I wanted to at least knock this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take an X-Acto knife and just cut around here just to get each one. And then we'll probably start on one of the sides. So let me go ahead and do that right now. All right, so I have my X-Acto knife here. And what I'm gonna do basically is just gently, just gonna go across, cut right into it. I'm not worried about the carpet. I'm not really pressing too hard there. And then I'm also gonna do this just to get a curve around it. You're gonna see it start curling because the artwork hasn't been really laid out to get flattened yet. I should have done that ahead of time, but I wasn't really prepared at that point for this, so we'll just work with it. So that's going to be one side right there. You can see it's still curling. And then this side over here, let me just put this down on there. I have some paint cans to kind of keep it all together. And then we'll go ahead and do that over here as well. So let me just go out. I'm cutting about, about a 1/2 inch from the edge. I'm gonna just follow the curve. Again, I'm not pressing too hard, so I'm not really destroying my carpet underneath. And that's it. So this is it here. So if we were to open one up, I'm just gonna put this on the bottom here to hold it nice and flat. You really should, let it relax a little bit overnight or something. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna put it right on. It should be fine. It has enough sticky stuff to stay on. Okay, so I have it here. What I did was I put it on the floor because it was just way too high up. And I wanted this is a big cabinet here. So this is how it's gonna go on. Basically like this. What I'm gonna do is tape it in the middle somewhere and then figure out whether to slide it up or down. But before I do that, let me actually go ahead and clean it off and use some Wrap Attack. I did it earlier, but I'm gonna do it again just in case. And you want to use a lint-free cloth. I'm not using a lint-free cloth. I'm just using an old pair of jeans that I had cut up. But I'm not going to put it on using the wet method. I'm going to do the dry method. But Wrap Attack is really good to get everything nice and clean. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And honestly, you really want to use oil-based paint if you can. I used latex here, so I'm not even sure if it's going to stay. But you know, we'll see. It depends really on the printer. I know if you use Joe Sable's artwork, which this is not, you know, you have to just worry about doing it with oil-based or auto-based paint, you know, automotive paint. So this is good enough for me. There's a couple bumps here and there. I'm not worried about it, to be honest. Okay, so it looks like it's all done. What I did was, my technique was I actually did it from, instead of going up, I actually went down, where I went underneath, grabbed it there, and then looked and made sure. And for whatever reason, the artist, I guess he didn't give as much bleed as I thought. I originally wanted him to have like some black bleed here, just in case, but he actually did it exactly to this line right here. I mean, no fault of his, I guess, but whatever, you know. So as long as I know that, it's fine. So I lined it up exactly like it should go on. So I think I'm gonna do, I want to do the top first, just so it looks nice and neat. So I'm going to take these off here, just keep them on there nice and tight, and then I'm just going to roll this back and cut as much as I can here. So I'm just going to peel it. And again, you know, that's all clean. It's good to go. It's not perfect, the artwork, but, you know, I think I just waited a little too long to put it on, to be honest. But anyway, let me go ahead and slice it. I don't want to do it with scissors because scissors tends to leave like little fuzzies and stuff, and you don't want those behind. So I'll just use a really, really, really sharp X-Acto knife. So I'm going to go on this side like that, and then I'll just go across. All right, so now it's a perfect line. There's no fuzzies left behind from scissors. And then I'm using a, this is actually for Bondo, and you put like a industrial strength Velcro, you know, the soft side on it. All right, so let me just get in here, and I'm lifting it up. And I'm just kind of going down. This should be fine. It shouldn't have any bubbles in it or anything. So I'm really not worried too much. But that's how it is. Definitely cool that it's on there. Good. We'll see. Again, you know, I'm not really sure. This is more of an experiment than anything. And if it stays on this material, great. If it doesn't, when I order the other stuff for the replacements, I'll just make sure I get something that will stick onto, you know, the this material, the latex paint, because I believe Game On Graphics, I've done stuff on latex, like from my Vigolix builds, and they work just fine. So we'll find out. All right, so that looks good. I'm just looking for air bubbles. Let me actually just cross over here and look. Sideways, I don't really see any at this point. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. I'll put this over here. Well, you know what? I don't even need to. It's fine. And then I'm going to remove this tape here, which I have holding everything down. Let me actually just tear it like this. It'll be fine. I mean, you want to still be careful, even though it's painter's tape. I'm still a little paranoid here. And that's one. And then the other side. Oops. Did not quite get it all there. There we go. I don't want to do it the other way because I don't want to tear it while I'm taking it off. So that should be fine. Okay. Great. So now that that's done, I can go ahead and fold this back. It looks so weird because it's so curled up, but let me get over here and do that. And it's really supposed to, I mean, this is terrible how it's so curled up here. But I'm just gonna hold it steady, make sure everything comes off properly, all in one shot. Let me just try to straighten this out here. There we go. And we'll just, and I did cut these little tiny edges here just for the tape to fit, so that's normal. And then let me put this down. And I just don't want it to curl on itself. All right, I think that should be fine. And I'll just carefully, this is probably the messiest side art I've ever put on. I usually put it on a lot neater. But that's what you get for waiting, right? All this time to put it on. So, but it should be all right. Just want to make sure that's not coming out. All right, that looks okay. Trying to bend it down so it won't come back up. All right, I think at this point, I'd be doing it a service to cut it so it doesn't keep curling like that. So if it cuts into it a little bit, it's not a big deal. It's still gonna look good no matter what. This I'm just gonna slice off. And you can go over it later at a later point. Let me go over here, grab this over here. And again, I'm gonna not really do that too fine because I'm just gonna get that later. All right. I'm just gonna turn it a little bit. Let me put this on the side here. Yeah, you could see it was a little bit off, but it has some bleed. If I had to do it again, I would definitely push this black bleed more into there. So you know, I really wanted that black to be around it, but you know, you learn every time you do a project. You always learn new stuff. So that's the lesson I'm learning on this one. That it can't be perfect. You can try, but let me go ahead and turn it some more. Make sure I'm framed up on the camera there for you guys. Go straight out. And do it some more. And this bar top here, it's probably more of an advanced build than it is a easier build. I mean, Harman Customs does good ones too. His is a little tiny bit easier, I want to say. This one's more customizable, so I kind of like that it feels like you're really building something versus it's already cut for you. But if you don't want to do all this, you know, extra work with what you've seen in the video so far with putting it all together, you know, you could always get Harman Customs kits, but these are pretty good. These are from Rick at his company. I'll have a link to the stuff that he has in the description. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go over it really quickly just to make sure it's on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut some more off the edge just to round them a little better. But it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Cool. All right, so let me get the other side done and we'll flip it over and continue with that. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to use Rapid Tack just to clean it. This is still some sticky stuff there from the other one that I did. So the way I figured out the best way to do it, like I said, instead of going from the top, from here and looking on the top, I just did the opposite where I just, yeah, this one's way over by like 1/2 inch. So I have to move the whole thing down. Let me take those off there. And then just by trial and error, you know, you go back and forth. So I'm going to do that again, you know, from the top. I'm going to look. That looks okay, but it has to go in the other direction. So yeah, it'll take me a little while. So let me go ahead and do it. I'll tape it down and then we'll get ready to do this. Okay, so I did it this time. I put it on there again, and I'm going to go ahead and leave these on. And I'll just move these to the side. And I'll go ahead and begin to peel this one here. Peel it back. And I'm going to just put that on the edge there. Yeah. I'm going to cut it with this. Let me just cut it that way first. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my squeegee. Oops. I mean, it's not going to be perfect again. It's just really hard artwork to put on because it was so close to the edge there. But I think it'll be fine. All right. And then I'm going to go on this side. Now, normally, you're supposed to kind of do this and hold it as you go. So I'm going to do that because I'm at the correct angle that I need to be at. And I'm actually going to take the whole thing off now because it's a little awkward. It's not exactly square. There we go. Put that on the side. Yeah, that's going to look really good. Just getting the edges here. Follow it along all around. All right. Little bit of a bump there. Let's see how that looks here. And there was a slight bump. That's what made me stop. It got caught on that. Okay. I'm definitely gonna have to go over that again. I could tell it's not as close as it should be. This is a little tough. All right, that looks good. So now I'm gonna press even harder because I know where the edge is now. And again, you know, you can do the wet method. I didn't. I feel something this small, you don't really need to. And it's pretty thick. If it was thinner, maybe. I'll just get the edges real quick. This actually came out better than the other side, I feel. But still came out good. And now I'm just going to use the Rapid Tack just to go over it really quick and to clean off any residue. That looks really good. And the reason I'm using Rapid Tack is I know it's safe for artwork. So I don't want to take any chances. Definitely don't want to use simple green because that kind of leaves like residue a little bit. You want it to be nice and clean. You can use it, but you want to go over it with Glass Plus afterwards. Okay, so this is it. It's actually starting to look like a little bar top, like a custom build, like I wanted it to be. So I'm going to put on some T-molding. Now this isn't the typical 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch. I think this might be 5/8 inch. It's kind of in between the two. So that's why this bar top looks so big. It's pretty hefty. I'm not even sure. I got to see if this looks cut okay. It might be a little off because I had actually cut it with a slot cutter, but it looks like the slot is it's slightly off because it kind of got filled with paint. So I don't mind. I mean, what I'm going to do, I think, is I have to start from the back and work my way to the front. Let me go ahead and get some cutters because I know I'm going to need them for the curves over here. Now, what I may do if this doesn't look good, if it's too much offset, I might just go with black. I can go with black T-molding because then it'll kind of blend in. Even if it's off a little bit, this is painted black, so we really won't notice as much. But let me try. I'm trying to think if I should have it go from underneath. Yeah, let me try that. Let me put it sideways again. And then I got to figure out where I want to start it. I might want to start it like right here, come around. And the thing is, if I want to staple it, those staples might pop up a little bit. It might not stay in, like I said. I might have to staple it here, which I think I will. Or I could just glue it. And then on the corners, you're going to have to just cut. So what you do is you put your finger, you measure where it's going to be, that's where it's going to be cut, and you have to kind of do like a little, kind of like a V angle. I usually just cut like that. And then it'll allow you to kind of bend it around and get in there. Again, I measure with my finger, pull it back, and I'm just going to cut here and here. So it's kind of like a triangle that you're cutting out. See, like right there. Then it allows it to kind of go back in right and get those really sharp curves. So this looks a little loose here. Might have to glue that. There's all kinds of problems on here. So I'll glue it later because I'm not really sure if I need to take it off again to do the other work to get everything in there. So yeah, this seems to be coming out too. So again, I'll have to just put some glue in there and then I'm going to cut it right here. Just gonna cut it nice and flush. So this may not stay in there because yeah, see, it needs to be glued. It's just a little too wide. So totally went crazy when I was routing it, and I think I just overdid it because it would have been a really, really super tight fit had I not done that. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and glue those in. But it seems to be all right. I think once that's on there, I think the T-molding's passable. So let me go ahead, I'll get the glue gun, and then I'll go ahead and do the other side, and I'll show you the results. All right, so I finished this side here. I glued it. I'll show you in a second what I did. But basically, I just used the hot glue gun to get everything on there. So it looks pretty good. I'm really happy with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side with you guys, and you can see exactly how it gets done. This side seems a little stronger here. I'm going to go ahead and glue that piece in anyway. So let me go ahead and take that out because the other side had a lot of loose ends there. I just want to make sure it's all good to go. All right. So again, that goes up. It's about right there. So I don't think the staples will look as good, and I don't want it to split. That's my main thing. glue stick in there. All right, now I can just trim the edge off of here. So I'm going to measure. Looks like it's about right there. And then the center one. Bend it and then cut one more time here. All right, that should do it. Let's get that last bit of glue in there. Ooh, I just finished it. Perfect. I want that line of glue. You can see it right here. All right, that's acceptable. So that looks good. Let's turn it up and see how it looks. I'm going to put this over here, and I'm also going to unplug it. I have plenty left. There might be some on the front. I can't remember. Yeah, that looks good. I really like it. It makes it pop. It looks nice. I can't even tell that it's a little bit off, just slightly, but not too bad. And let me see, does this have T-molding? Yeah, it does. You see, there's a strip right here. I'm not sure if the control panel has it. All right, so I found the control panel, and when you put that thing on there, man, it really makes it, you could tell that these buttons, that's how I wanted it. I wanted the white T-molding to pop with that, and it really does pop. It's supposed to go right there. I'm thinking of building a hinge. I bought a hinge. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. And again, this has T-molding here, which I'm not going to put on because I didn't put the overlay on yet. And then it also has T-molding here. So it should be, let me see if it's long enough. I think that goes there, and then it ends there, and then, yeah, there's plenty. I mean, I have, if I screw up, I even have a little extra there. And I don't think there is on the back. I guess I can put it, but I'm not going to put any on the back. I just like it on the front there. So, yeah, it looks really good how it pops versus the contrasting color. You can see there's still a few strings of glue that I have on me that I'll get off eventually. But yeah, it worked out pretty good. So, again, I'm not going to put it on here because I need to put the stuff on first, the overlay, and then cut it with a razor and then put on the T-molding. So this I think I'm safe to do because, oh, you know what? I'm not going to, and I'll tell you why. Because I believe what I wanted to do was I wanted to put brackets on the outside of it because this came with the stuff on the inside. Let me see if I can go grab it. But yeah, so that doesn't really fit right. See, it's like kind of loose by a lot. So I could either get one that's a little longer, right? Probably like 1/16 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch because it does bend. So if it's a little too long, I can always put it back, which will be easier. Or I can get a whole piece that covers this top part here. Yeah, I'll just overlap them so you can see what I mean. But it's going to be this long. And then what I'm going to do is get a cover that I can put over it like that. So let me know what you guys think. You know, I'm going to have like a bracket on top of it and underneath it, I guess, that I'd have to spray paint white. Or I can just get one that's a little longer. Maybe I'll get one that's just a little longer here because it'll fit right in there, and then I could always pop it out if I need to. And this, I'm trying to figure out, I think it's plexi. It feels like more like rubbery than plexi. I gotta ask I gotta ask around and see if they have anything like this, because this seems more like flexible than plexi is, almost like a softer plastic that kind of bends. And this was made of the same thing. It's the same deal. It was the same length as this, or the width. And then see how it doesn't, like right now I have it all the way on the left. See how it flops around? It doesn't quite reach it. So I can make that longer, get a plexi, and then kind of bend it in place. Or I can get a tinted plexi, which is a little longer, and then kind of put that here and bend that in place, which is what I wanted to do. So maybe I'll do that. I think I want to get tinted plexi. It's supposed to go, it actually goes all the way up here, right up to that. Yeah, it doesn't go past it. So I think I'm going to do that. I might get tinted plexi. I have to order it to have, you know, a little bit longer than this. I'm going to measure exactly. I'll base it on that. And right now this is exactly to the edge. So I think I needed like another 1/4 inch. And then I can take the plexi, you know, place it right here and then bend it a little bit, and then it'll fit right in those grooves. So that's what I think I'm going to do. And then this needs to swing up, which will hit the plexi. So I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I'd probably have to file down a little bit over here on either end, but I want to put a piano hinge. I actually bought one. Here, I'll show you really quick. I have it over here. It didn't come with the kit, but I felt, you know, it's something that maybe I can get. It's kind of like a small piano hinge that I can put on the bottom of this. See, it's long enough where I can just put it, like attach it down here on one side and then have it on the other side, and just have it, you know, where it just kind of does like a car where it opens. So I'm not really sure what I want to do with that. You know, so many decisions to make, because how else would I secure it in there? I really want it to be like, I put it in there and then all I have to do is put magnets right here and underneath. You know, there's really strong earth magnets, and then it just clicks into place. You know, where I just go like that. That'll look really slick, you know? So that's how I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to try putting it on there. The only problem is I think I have to put the artwork first and then drill holes into the artwork, because this has to be on the outside of the artwork, without a doubt. But it is silver, it blends in. I'm actually going to take it apart real quick just to see how it would look at this angle. I bought this a long time ago. It's been such a while since I worked on this cabinet. So I definitely can't return it, so I might as well just get rid of the packaging, and if I can't use it, you know, I'm just out the money I spent on it. There we go. So it comes with these screws here, and then the piano hinge should, this is how it's going to show. It's going to be on this side no matter what I do. And I might be able to get away with it, because the T-molding is going to cover it. So I might have to just grind this down a little bit, because it's kind of curved. The front of it is actually not straight, it's curved. And then when this is attached, it'll kind of do this. Yeah, I might want to do that right away, actually. Wonder if I can do it, and then I'll put the artwork on after where I'll take it off. But if I put this on like that, like I just showed, it's gonna be popping out a little bit where I have to grind it. Yeah, let me think about that. I'm not committed to it right now, like, you know, for 100%, but because it does have this groove here, and I was just gonna put Velcro, to be honest, but now I'm not really too sure what I want to do. But the magnets will be really slick if I do that, you know, with the piano hinge. So yeah, I got to decide what I want to do. You know, because Velcro is just a pain. You always have to tear it off. It's just a pain in the butt. But I could put the Velcro right here, and on these strips, and then all I have to do is it stays in place, and it does. It's industrial strength, and it really will stay there. But I feel with the piano hinge just gives it that extra look where you can just do that and just work on it if you need to. So yeah, let me know what you prefer in the comments. I think I should use this piano hinge. I think it'll look good. All right, so let me get this on top. We'll talk about it a little bit more, and then we'll take a look at it, and we'll see how it looks, and then we'll wrap this episode up. Okay, guys, so this is it. I actually decided to put the front. You can see it right over here. I put that T-molding on. It went in right away because I didn't touch it with the router to make it wider, so it was nice and tight. It was a pain to get in there, so I'm really glad I did use the router on the outside, but I managed to get that in there, and I probably am going to go ahead with that original plexi that was inserted here, just a little bigger. Same thing with over here. It's just a lot easier, and I might go with the piano hinges. I'm still torn about that, so let me know in the comments if I should do that or not. But this thing, look at it. It's just beautiful. I mean, Esperade is just a cave game that I really loved. I kind of got into this when I was an adult. A friend introduced it to me, and I just loved it ever since. And it's one of the few shoot 'em ups that uses 3 buttons. A lot of the bullet hell ones do, but you know, those typical ones like rated and stuff usually just have bomb and shoot. But this one has this other special abilities. Just a really deep game. I love the theme on it. There's never been one done before. I have a unique one, and I really like that because I like being unique. So I decided not to go with the Raspberry Pi on this. So, you know, it would fit in here no problem, but it is really big. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go with a full-fledged PC. It's going to be an i5, probably most likely like an Intel NUC or something like that. The NUCs are about, I don't know, about that big, but I can fit, if I wanted to, the ultra small form factor, it's called. PCs where they're like, you know, like $100 will get you like one that's about this big, that wide. That will fit in the back, either laying down or straight up. So I may get that, not really too sure yet. But I definitely am going to go the PC route. I just feel it's a lot easier. I can just do launch box with big box mode and not have to worry about it, because with the RetroPie, you know, I wanted to run Dreamcast games and it was a little sluggish with that. I had to overclock it, then I had to get a heatsink, and then, you know, it has all these menus that you can get into by mistake. So I'd rather just have, you know, the nice PC where I can just have a wireless keyboard somewhere and I can just access it to upgrade stuff if I want to. And also it runs the Dreamcast emulator, which has Ikaruga on it, which I really think should be in this cabinet, especially with the LS32s and all that soundwall buttons and stuff. So, you know, this is definitely, you know, it's a Taito looking cab, but it's unique. It's 2 players, and it's just going to be, you know, Japanese shoot 'em ups, American shoot 'em ups, whatever, but it's going to be a really cool cab. It's really heavy, I have to say, because it's made of MDF and it's 5/8 inch. It's not 1/2 inch. So it's a little thicker than my other cabs that I'm used to, but it really is rock solid, and I don't really see traveling with it much. I'm probably going to leave it here right in the arcade. Right next to my other one, which I'm building soon, it's going to be the Neo Geo Big Red Mini, which is actually going to have a slot 1 Neo Geo inside of it, which is going to be awesome. This one's going to have the PC. It's going to be emulated very well. You know, it's going to look good and stuff. But yeah, with the other one, it's just going to be an actual one where you can just open it up in the back, take out the cartridge, put it in there, close it up, go ahead, play your real Neo Geo game. So it's going to be pretty legit. And believe it or not, it's bigger than this one. It's taller and it's wider. So I'm really excited to do that. That's why I'm kind of knocking this one out, just to get it done. I can put it in my bar top row. You can see my Ms. Pac-Man in the background there. I had Donkey Kong before. You can check out this link up here if you haven't seen it. The Donkey Kong Mini, the Mini Nintendo, and of course this one, and then the next one that's coming. So, you know, different vendors. I just like to try different people. This was a little more difficult to build, but you know, we're doing it right. We just really have to just do the internals now and fix a couple artworks that, you know, that got a little screwed up. But other than that, this one's coming out really nice, a lot better than I thought it would. So, all right. So if you guys have any questions or anything, you could always hit me up at Del's Arcade on Instagram, or at Del's Arcade on Twitter. I'm on both. You could also hit me up on my Gmail account. It's delsarcade@gmail.com. You know, I'm always up for questions and stuff. I try to answer every comment that's on here. So if you have any other questions too, you can always comment. But yeah, I love this hobby. I love bar tops. I think it's great. It's a great outlet for MAME, where you're not kind of destroying original, you know, collectibles. I really hate that. So, you know, this, like you could see, I did my Vigolix, which is also that. My first MAME cabinet was just given to me. It was already messed up. So, you know, that's the only one I did. But everything else I love to restore. This one just gives you an excuse to put MAME in it, and I really love it. So stay tuned. It's a beautiful cabinet. It's going to be even better once it's all done. Thanks again for subscribing. If you're not already subscribed, please do consider subscribing. If you are a subscriber already, thank you so much for doing that. We're actually approaching 4,000 subscribers. It was like last year where we hit 3,000, less than a year ago, and it's growing really, really well. You know, and I love this channel, and I love entertaining you guys, especially during times when you're bored or pandemics or whatever you have your day off. Thanks again. We'll see you next time, and we'll continue with this series. Take care.